Hi everyone, thank you Alex, and thank you all for joining us again. I'm really enjoying these Sundays and I hope you are as well. So, I've had a bit of feedback, and I know last week we were speaking about that we get new people joining every week, and I want them to understand as where we are so they don't miss anything. But then a few people said it was really good to recap as well for me. And the thing about meditation is it's little baby steps. I call them micro steps. And you never rush. Don't worry about getting things right. There's no such thing as right or wrong. You just do the best that you can. And as we go over and recap some of the things, you can think about it and see whether you've got the understanding of this. So the first week, we started very simply about posture. And you know, posture is really important in your whole life. Just as you're sitting now, just quickly have a snapshot of how you're sitting or lying. Are you balanced? Are you comfortable? Do you need to readjust anything at all? You know, you can't meditate if you're kind of screwed up or uncomfortable. And one of the best ways to think about your posture is the center line, that imaginary energetic line that goes through your body. And this actually was the first teachings of the golden thread, this golden thread going right through your body of energy, and we're trying to keep that energy nicely balanced. But hopefully you'll notice in your normal life now, perhaps the way you're driving or the way you're watching TV or the way you're reading a book, you're thinking more about your posture. And that would be a great step forward. And then the following week, we talked about the 3 dantiens. And if you haven't heard that word before, perhaps you've heard the word chakra, which is an Indian word. The Chinese call it dantiens. And these are energy centers, like a vortex. If you see that in the river, I think it's called an eddy, spinning around. We have 3 main ones we concentrate in the meditation. The upper dantien, or the third eye. Middle dantien, some people prefer the heart chakra. Lower dantien, that gut feeling. It's important to remember that it's on a cross from the middle there. It's not on the surface of your skin. It's crossing right in the center of your head. So when we concentrate on that is in the meditation, take a little bit longer and try and get into that middle. Try and get into that center. And don't worry if I've moved on, you can always catch me up. Just try and get the center of that energy and get the idea of the energy turning around and around. And then the next week we talked about breathing. And breathing, these 3 things, posture, dantiens, breathing, very important. And a couple of people misunderstood and they thought they had to snatch the breathing or breathe hard or breathe deep. And what we're looking for is a gentle breath. And I introduce you to what I call the bellows breath, one of my favorite breathing techniques. It's just to imagine, you know the bellows that you can use for the fires? Imagine a pair of bellows between your hips. You can do it now as I'm talking. And then just slowly open the bellows and create a vacuum and attract the breath down into your abdomen. Breathe in with love. Breathe out slowly with gratitude. And just as I'm talking and going over 3 things here, just practice that yourself. Slow, gentle breathing. And don't be rushed. Sometimes you'll notice the mind will jump in and say, oh, let's do this quicker, or we're not doing it right, or we should be deeper. Don't go into that. Just get that nice, calm, gentle, flowing movements. And then the week after we talked about feeling the qi. And I introduced you to one of the most important points in Qigong, Qigong healing, and meditation. This point in the heel of the palm of your hand. It's called the Lao Gong point. And again, you can try this as I'm talking. It's hard when you're not quite relaxed, so just shake out your shoulders a bit. Take a nice long bellows breath and just bring your hands up a little bit and see if you can feel that ball of qi energy between your hands. And a couple of the feedback we had was the first week you felt it quite strongly. And then it wasn't so strong, or it's hard to feel the second and third week. And this is normally because you're trying too hard. So even as I'm talking to you now, just see if you can feel, some people call it a resistance or a static electricity. And just see if you can feel that between your hands. So later on in the meditation, when we put our hands up and we're going over our lower dantien and middle dantien, first of all, feel the qi and then put one hand on top of the other. And what you're looking for are the Lao Gong points in both hands to be aligned and aligning with the middle and the lower dantien. And during the meditation, we've been putting our hands over our middle dantien, heart chakra, because this is the area that normally the part of the mind that we call the inner child affects very strongly. And so just giving that reassurance. And then last week, we talked about doing the same with the lower dantien. And so now we've recapped, I want to just concentrate a little more on the shen, on the lower dantien. So what is shen? Well, the teaching is shen is the spiritual energy, the life force, the thing that connects you to the universe. Your spirituality. And when I talk about spirituality, what I'm talking about, if you imagine someone you really love, a child, a partner, a friend, a parent, and just for a moment, just think about them. Physically, they come into your mind, the way they look, the colour of their hair, colour of their eyes, perhaps the way they walk and they talk, the clothes they wear. But just take a moment now and think about, is that all they are? Is there something more about them? Is there something that makes them unique? And this is what I would call shen, that uniqueness. And so if they have shen, you also have shen. You also have this deep connection. And there's hardly any words to describe how important this is. There is no one in the universe like you. You are unique. And a few years ago, when I used to do talks, I used to say, you're made of cosmic stardust. And people used to smile and think I was exaggerating. But now the scientists have confirmed what we've always known. You are made of cosmic stardust. And so when you say one of the three lies, I'm not good enough, I can't cope, I'm unlovable, this makes a nonsense. When you have this inner divine energy that makes you so unique. And one of the strengths of meditation that we're going to do now is to be able to cut out that chitter-chatter of the inner child and to connect to that deeper part of you that's always there, that never goes away, that defines you as who you are, that's been with you all through your twists and turns, all through your difficulties. It's always there, always will be there. And imagine if you can be with that energy all of the time. How relaxed you would be. Nothing to prove. Don't need validation of other people. Don't need that reassurance. Don't need to doubt yourself. Because when you do all those, it blocks you connecting to your shen. And that to me is what meditation is about. It's about focusing and connecting to shen energy. So when you're ready, just give yourself a good shake out. Make sure you're nice and comfortable. And with your eyes open or closed, just become the observer. And what you're doing is just observing the energy or the atmosphere around you. So if there's any disturbances, the best you can now, go and shut a door, close the curtains, turn the radio off, just to help you focus. And then bring those observations more onto yourself. And I would suggest before you start any meditation, just do this first initial scan. We're scanning right from the top of the head. And go at your speed. Don't be rushed. Remember, I'm just guiding you. Slowly scanning down your body. And what you're looking for is any obvious signs of tension or tightness. Have a look at your neck. Just give your neck a move. Have a look at your shoulders. Coming down through your chest. Coming down through your torso. Any tightness in your rib cage, in your back. Scanning down any tightness in your hips, your abdomen. Down through the cheeks of your bottom and your legs. Take responsibility now. And remember, if there is tension there, you are creating it. Release that tension now. Well done. Scanning down through your knees, your calves, your ankles and your feet. And scanning right down into your toes, each toe, even the little toe. And when we're all together, from all over the world, we can start to scan back up the body. But see if you can go a level deeper now. So now we're looking at joints and ligaments, looking around the ankle joint, coming up through the Achilles and the calf muscle. Take your time, deeply relaxing. No tension in your body. Let the seat support you. Coming up through the glutes, into the cheeks of your bottom again. We hold so much tension. Just let it go. Coming up through your back. Just get your spine nicely positioned. Have another check of the shoulders, the shoulder blades, and under the shoulder blades. Listen to your body now, it's talking to you. You notice tension, just riddle around and release it. Have a look at your neck. and making our way right to the top of the head, right to the highest point. And this is called the Baohu point. And don't worry if you're not sure where it is, just turn the energy around and around until you move into the center. And from the Baohu point, we're going to draw the center line. The energy line right through your body. Coming down slowly from Baohu, behind the eyes and nose. Now take a moment and see if you can locate the upper dantien, right in the center of your head, on the crossroads between the center line and the dantien. Well done. Now continue down behind the nose, between the ears, behind the mouth. Good. Slow as you want to. Down through the center of your throat, between the shoulders, right through the center of your chest. And now you're looking for the middle dantien, the heart chakra. Think about that place in your chest when you get tight, when you use words like anxious, scared, fearful. This is the middle dantien. Take a moment now and just connect the middle and the upper dantiens together. And then continue down. Between the rib cage, between the hips, deep into your abdomen. And this is the most important, the lower dantien, the gut feeling, the intuition. Just in your mind's eye, try and find that energy center that's drawing you there. You know those times when you've had that wonderful idea. You know those times when out of the blue, something pops into your head. It comes from deep inside. Don't be rushed. When you think you've found it, that's okay. We'll use that tonight. And then align the three dantiens together. And like a core of an apple, that's your center core. Now, once you've got that center core, now you can tweak up your posture. Using the center core now, bring your head into alignment. Not too far forward, not too far back, not too far left or right. And just try tonight and see if you can find that sweet spot. And that sweet spot is Wu Wei. When you're holding your head effortlessly. It's just in the right place. And this is the teaching. This is how I want to encourage you to live your life. This is what I want to share with you. Living in that sweet spot. Living in your flow. Flourishing with no tension. So get used to creating that sweet spot. Do it with your shoulders, not one higher than the other, not too far forward or too far back. Whether you're sitting or lying now, just shuffle around until you go, oh, yes, that's it. Notice the chi energy moving now. Same with your chest and your rib cage. So the left and the right hand side are mirrored. and you're at ease. And this is what Taoism is teaching, to live your life at ease, in your flow. You have all this. No one can give it to you. No one can take it away from you. And once you have that balance, then use the center line now for the bellows breath. Don't rush. Open the bellows deep in your abdomen. Breathe in and breathe out. Find the rhythm that suits you. Breathe in. Breathe out. And now you're looking for that sweet spot with the breath. I'm going to be quiet now so you can find your rhythm. Breathing in with love. Breathe out with gratitude. Couple more times. Find the rhythm that suits you. Close your eyes, listen to your body, it's talking to you. You noticing any tension? Relax the tension. Trust yourself. Find your balance. And when you have the breathing right, you'll notice the mind settles because it's safe. It's safe in the balance. It's safe in you. You're in control. Allow the eyelids to close. Notice the muscles around and behind the eyes. Work with yourself now. Don't fight yourself. See how deep you can go tonight. The muscles around and behind the eyes, down through the cheek and the cheekbones, relaxing all of your facial muscles. It's good. Well done. Relaxing the jawline so the teeth are not clenched. There's no tension in your face at all. Feels good. Checking your breathing. From the chin now, we're working our way back up. We're going to find our way to the temples, but don't rush. Relaxing the jawline. Relaxing the side of your head and your ears. Making sure your head's in balance. Be happy to shuffle around and reposition. That little movement can make all the difference. And coming into the temple area. And then just pause. Give yourself a moment. Let's bring everyone together. Bellows breathing open and closed. And from the temples, we're going to come across the forehead. Now see if you can find those muscles you use when you frown. You know, sometimes when you're angry, worried, stuck. Can you find those muscles? On the next out breath now, release those muscles. Ice to water. Water to steam. Steam, evaporate. Let it go. All over the world, let's all let it go together. Release the tension. Find your sweet spot. Find your truth. And then from the forehead, we're going to go up and over and down the back. But go carefully. Don't rush. Across the top of the head, down the back of the head, and dropping into the larger neck muscles. And they've kept your head proud and erect. They work so hard for you. Give them a break now. Get your head in that sweet spot. Wait for your next out breath. And as we all breathe out together, drop your shoulders. Relax your biceps. Make your arms extra heavy. Relax through your arms, your wrists, into your hands. Relax right down into your fingertips. And this is mindfulness. Even your thumb. Be aware of each of your fingertips and thumbs. Good. Now when you make these arms extra heavy, notice how the shoulder blades release, much deeper than they was. Don't forget to come under the shoulder blades. Oh, do you notice the bigger breath now? Relax your chest. Relax the diaphragm. Get these bellows breath working tonight. Find your sweet spot in your rhythm. Relax your rib cage and the spaces between the ribs, the intercostal spaces. Let's use those. Coming from the front of the body, around the sides of the body, and into the back. Now, if you concentrate, you'll notice the energy turns up again, heading towards the base of your neck. Slow down. Don't be rushed. Just follow up through your back now. And this gives you a wonderful opportunity of a spinal stretch. Let's all do it together. On the next in-breath, we breathe in. Head goes one way, coccyx goes the other way. Stretch out that spine and neck, and then slowly breathe out. And just let your body find its organic, natural position. Readjust if you need to. Look after yourself. Take care of your posture. Check your breath. Great. You did that great. And then from the base of the neck, we're just cascading down through the vertebrae. Each one by one. Between the shoulders, into the waist area, down into the lumbar region. And remember, we have 5 lumbar vertebrae here. These vertebrae are governed by the energy of the kidneys. Take your time, count them off one by one. Can you picture them in your mind? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on the 5th one, we're just looking for the coccyx, the tailbone. How do you picture it in your mind? Come right to the tip of the coccyx. Pause and notice how close you are to that center line. Hop over onto the center line, and here's your lower dantian. Check your breathing now. Can you get those bellows breath into your lower dantien? Very good. Each week slightly better. Do you notice? Listening to your body, working with yourself. We're going to return here in a moment. Just for now, we'll finish off the physical relaxation. Much deeper now through the cheeks of your bottom. Picking up any last bit of tension that was left. Much deeper down through your legs. Very good. Around your knees, especially if you have stiff joints, give yourself healing. Give yourself relaxation. Down through your legs, your ankles, and just like you did with your hands and your fingers, do the same with your feet and toes. Each toe, don't forget the little toe. Be mindful, be careful, be good to yourself. Good. And then we're going to return to the lower dantian. Bring your attention to the lower dantian. Now you can bring your hands up together. See if you can feel the chi between your hands. Nice and relaxed. Relax your shoulders. Relax your biceps. And then one hand goes on top of the other over the lower dantian. And this is where the shen energy, the spiritual energy is. As I said at the beginning, connect deep to that inner truth, to that honesty, to your integrity. And when your breathing's right, you're nice and relaxed. I'm just going to be quiet now for 2 minutes. And just feel that energy deep in your abdomen. And we're looking for that spark of inspiration, the inner knowing, the inner knowledge, the inner wisdom. And just before we move on, scan your body again. Just notice if you picked up any tension. Drop your shoulders. Relax your biceps. Check your breathing. And now we're going to move our hands up to the middle dantien. The same again, just give yourself a few moments and feel the chi. Relax your biceps. Feel that ball in your hands. Feel the electricity. And then let one hand come on top of the other and place it over the middle dantien. And last week I suggested you might want to bring a picture, a photograph of yourself when you were a child, 6, 7, 8, 9. And as you bring your hands over your middle dantien, you could look at that picture now, or you could think of one in your mind. Think of a scene, an image, an experience. And just hold that image for a moment as you've got your hands over your middle dantien. Check your breathing. Very good tonight. Well done. And it's almost as though you're holding your inner child close into your heart. You're bringing them into your chest and your bosom. And you're taking responsibility. And then all together we practice the inner smile. You allow the corners of your eyes and your mouth to go up. And you radiate a smile deep into your heart. Almost as if you're putting a beautiful bubble of love around that inner child. And don't be alarmed if the child pushes away or turns away from you. Increase your love and increase your attention and your focus. And smile. And just keep holding the child until the child begins to relax. Relax your body. And for the first time this week, we're going to be quiet just for 2 minutes whilst you sit quietly with your child. Bring that picture into your mind. Imagine you've got your child sitting on your lap and you're holding them gently, and you can smell them. You can feel them right there. And we'll share the stillness together. Well done. And don't rush. Just gently and calmly move your hands away and rest them down by your side. And before we finish this evening, give yourself a minute. Perhaps do your own scan. Where do you normally hold tension? Is it in your shoulders, in your neck? Is it in your lower back? Is it time now for you to let go? Is it time for you to stop holding on? Is it time for you to flourish? And then when you're ready, I'll slowly and gently count you back, but don't rush. A minute or two makes no difference now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Give yourself a good shake out. Nice big deep breath. Thank you so much for tonight. So you see what we're doing week on week. We're slowly building up. Here's some of the feedback that I get. Don't worry if halfway through you lose your track or your mind wanders off. This is normal. Don't beat yourself up. Meditation is about slow, gentle steps. And even sometimes when I'm teaching you, I'll take you back 2 steps and we'll do them again. You're not in a race. You're not beating anyone. Meditation is something you're doing for you, so you understand yourself. Next week, what I want to talk about is oneness. Oneness is a very important part of the Taoist teaching, because what the inner child does is create separation. And I want to bring that oneness in. So next week we're going to build on bringing the shen and the inner child together as a oneness. So if you've got any thoughts on that, put it into the community and I'll try and answer those questions. So before I hand back to Alex, as always, can I thank our volunteers, Sally, Philly and Taylor, and the mediators for the community, and they work really hard for the cause, and I thank you very much. But above all, can I thank you? Can I thank you for your donations? That's really helpful. It allows us to pay for the software that runs as all of these courses and all the licenses we have to pay for. So we really appreciate your support. And please build on this gently. And the last thing I want to say to you, if you can try 5 minutes, just 5 minutes a day, even if you do the breathing or just get yourself balanced, you'll quickly notice how things start to change in your life just by taking responsibility. Please practice little and often. That's the key. Every day for 5 minutes. So it's been wonderful for me tonight. I hope you've shared with some of this energy, and I'll pass you back to Alex and then perhaps I can answer some of your questions.
Thank you, David. Well, everyone's putting some very nice comments in the chat box about sharing their experiences, which is wonderful. One of our guests has asked, when you say focus on the lower dantien and go as deep as you'd like to, what do you mean by go as deep as you'd like to?
Yes. So you can't see me because I'm sitting down. So the lower dantien, well, there's a bit of debate about this. Most Chinese teachers would teach it a sun. When you see a sun, is the distance between your knuckle and the top of your thumb. That's a sun. And they say it's 2 sun below your navel. For me, it's a little bit deeper than that. It's more behind your pelvic bone for me. So it'd be very interesting when we do these meditations to see where you think that energy center is. And when I'm talking about going deep, the number one teaching I want to pass on to you that people get wrong is they concentrate on the surface of their body. And I want you to go right into the center. Remember, the center line goes right through the core. So when you're going into your middle or your lower dantien or even your upper dantien, I want you to go to that crossroads. Can you see the middle? From the center line to where you're going in deep. So when I say go deep, now for some people, you will experience a resistance, like a pushback. That's okay. Every week, you just go a little bit deeper and go a little bit deeper. Some weeks you get pushed back, and that's okay. And then the following week, you try and go a little bit deeper. But what we're trying to do is to get to that center core, to get to the dantien. And I said the dantien, if you stir up a cup of coffee or tea and make a vortex, we want to get right into the center. And that's why this week I left you for 2 minutes in your lower dantien and 2 minutes in your upper dantien. Try and get right to that center. Each week, try and get a little bit deeper.
Okay, and we've had another question. Is it ever possible to truly meditate properly with your eyes open?
Yes, definitely.
Does it matter?
No. It's your definition of meditation. For me and for a Taoist, meditation is the ability to focus. I think a couple of weeks ago we had a question about outside noise. And all of these things the mind will take to distract you. And really the teaching is to take time to control your mind. It goes back to one of the main core teachings of Taoism. You control your mind, the mind doesn't control you. And that's why you'll notice when you're practicing meditation more frequently, sometimes you'll drift off, or sometimes you'll lose it, or sometimes you'll forget where you are. This is totally normal. Don't beat yourself up. Just come back into a focus. Some people like to meditate with music, for instance, but we don't use music. You don't have to have music. But if you like music, that's good. If you like your eyes open, that's good. Some people like to do it in a darkened room. Some people aren't bothered. I want to teach you that this is the art of focusing, of being in control. And that's what I'm trying to pass on to you, that your emotions do not control you. You control your emotions.
Great, thank you, David. And a few people have commented that they've experienced tonight an almost like an overwhelming sense of peace and trust and letting go. How do they re-experience that feeling in everyday life and begin to trust and let go in everyday life when they're not sitting here meditating?
Okay, that's a great question, because that's what we're trying to achieve together. So, peace is a green light feeling. You know, in all of our videos and when I'm working with clients, we talk mainly about red light feelings. We talk about fear, anxiety, stress, being scared. But remember, we have green light feelings as well. Peace, love, tranquility, calm. And that's really what meditation is about. Focusing, learning that you can also create the green light feelings. I know we're very used to creating the red light feelings, and that was like falling off a log. Now, through meditation and focusing, we can now start to create the green light feelings. And this is what Taoism is about, really. As Taoism, remember, is not a religion. It is a philosophy. It's about a philosophy about living in balance, living in harmony. And that's what Wu Wei means. Living effortlessly. Effortless effort. So, although things can be very challenging in all of our lives, we can't stop that. We can't stop the challenge. I know a lot of my clients would love to stop the challenges and wish there was a fairy godmother of wishful thinking that could come and sort everything out. But that's not reality. So we have to meet the challenges in balance. And we have to learn how to create the green light feelings, even in the most challenging of times. And that's why, if you are distracted in the meditation, if somebody does make a noise, if a car pulls up outside and pips a horn, or ice cream lorry comes past playing a tune. It's a good practice to get back into the focus, to do not let that distract you. And so to answer the question directly, it is equally important for you to learn how to create that peace and to how to learn to create the red light feelings of anxiety. How you do it is the way I'm teaching you. Little steps often. The main thing I can teach you is consistency. It's wonderful that we all come together once a week and share and ask questions, but the real work is what you do. And I'm not looking to do an hour a day, not looking at that. 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day. Put on a piece of music you love. Listen to one of my videos. Listen to somebody else you like listening to. Or try one day just sitting quietly. Place your hands over your inner child, if you have a picture of your inner child, and just say something like, okay, darling, we're here together now. And listen to your child. I can tell you from working with my clients, one of the main things about that inner voice, why it kicks up so much trouble, it doesn't believe it's being listened to. It believes it's being ignored. Have you been ignoring your inner child? Meditation is a time that you can do that. It's 5 minutes. It's to sit down quietly, place your hands over your middle dantien. If you have a picture of your inner child, just say, okay, darling, I'm here for you now. Remember, I like to call it a pet name. I'm here for you now. What would you like to tell me? What do you want to speak about? And that would be a meditation. And the more you practice that, the better you'll get at it.
Great, thank you, David. And so that movement you've just shown with the almost two palms, so one over the other, over the middle dantien.
So this is the Lao Gong point here. So in the heel of the palm.
Heel of the palm.
The heel of the palm, there and there. And you want to get those two aligned. Because remember, it's there at the front, but it's the same distance at the back. So you want to put the one over the other and put them over your middle or your lower or your middle dantian.
That was my question. Someone's asked, is it the same hand position for when you've got your hands over the lower dantian?
This is a great question, because I can tell you, in China, you'll go to one teacher and they'll say, oh, females have to put the left on top of the right. Then you'll go to another teacher, oh, females have to put the right on top of the left. Oh my goodness. I can tell you, almost every teacher I spoke to had another, you know what? Do what's comfortable for you. Try different ways and find the one that's more comfortable for you. Because that's in your flow. I'm guiding you. Don't listen to me. Listen to yourself. I would much prefer you to listen to yourself. That's why I try not to be too specific and say, you must do this, you must do that. Oh, it's actually there. Go with your feelings. That's why feelings are so important. They're telling you. So try 1 week with left on top of right and then say, okay, well, I'll try right on top of left. Does it matter to me? What's more important? And finding the difference between the two. And then the same with your shoulders. Well, how deep is dropping my shoulders? Let's really try and drop them. Is that too deep? Do I need them up a little bit? Do I want them forward? Again, you're looking for that sweet spot. And only you know that. No one can tell you that. And this is why Taoism is such a wonderful teaching. It's putting the responsibility onto you. It's finding your balance and your harmony.
And I just want to do a recap because several people have asked similar questions about expectations of meditation. It's not uncommon to have a few sessions where you go deeper and deeper into the meditation, you think you're doing really well, and then one session you just almost like have a hump where you have 1 or 2 sessions where it's just not as good, and that's normal.
That's absolutely normal. And that's where a lot of people then will give up. They go, oh, I can't get on with this. Oh, this is hopeless. They forget they've had 2 or 3 great experiences. Oh, it was terrible like this week. I couldn't settle my mind. As one of my clients said to me, oh, I couldn't get on with last week like meditation. My mind was too busy. I said, oh, you wasn't controlling your mind then. And that's That's why I like the term of the inner child. It'll fight back. It'll make it difficult for you. And that's what it does. Oh, you should be doing better. Oh, you should have got this by now. Oh, you're slower than everybody else. Oh, everybody else is doing better than you. This is the chatter. This is the understanding. You have to understand that that's part of the journey. That's part of what you're doing. You're understanding that and saying, you know what? It doesn't matter if I go back 2 weeks, 3 weeks. That's why I did the recap like this week. Doesn't matter if we start again, does it? We could all start again from posture. I would love to do complete like we did the first week. Just get your center line, get your posture. That would be a wonderful meditation. The mind wants to see this upward trajectory progress. A meditation is more like a wave flowing along. So if you have a bad week, say this week you couldn't get settled, then tomorrow as you do your 5 minutes, think to yourself, so what was going on? Why couldn't I get settled? And it will be something that happened earlier on today, something that may have upset you, something that didn't go right, something you wanted to happen didn't happen, or you may have rushed to come to the meditation, or you may have forgotten it. There will be a reason. Sit quietly and find that reason. And that's part of the meditation. I would say then the meditation's working. Yeah, thumbs up. High five, your meditation is working. You're learning about yourself. You're learning how the mind works.
And for people who experience kind of muscular aches, pain, spasms, or if they tend to fall asleep if they're lying down doing the meditation, feel free to move position.
Yes.
Feel free to stand up and do
Yes.
the meditation if it releases any muscular pain.
Yes.
There's no set way to do it, and you can move around during the session as well.
Yes, and a lot of people, this is where they get wrong. They try and sit in one position, and that becomes rigid. So when we're doing the meditation and I'm taking you through, that's why I personally like to do the scan at the beginning, the scan up and down. And I would recommend when you try it at home, just do a scan up and down and be happy to shuffle around and be happy to, and even when we're coming down and I'm going, okay, fit your head into your shoulders, be happy to kind of move the head around and reposition yourself. Don't be rigid. Nature is not in straight lines. You're a wonderfully flexible, beautiful person. Honor yourself. Be happy to move around. So if you're relaxed and you suddenly feel some tension in your shoulders, kind of move the tension a little bit. Or if you feel your breath getting a bit tight, kind of focus on the breath. If I'm talking about something else, listen to your body. Don't listen to me.
And finally, David, after the meditation, particularly if you just started doing it for the first time, it's not uncommon to sometimes get a little bit of a headache, or be a bit fuzzy in the head. And it's about being gentle with yourself in the hour or 2 hours after the meditation.
Well, that's a good question, because for you that may be your experience, that you're a bit kind of disorientated, a bit off center. For other people, they may be really energetic, really full of life, really want to go and do something. And I would say, listen to yourself. So if it's your time, I know a lot of people do this meditation in their PJ. If you want to go and put your feet up now, relax, that's fine. If you think, I'm going to write that letter, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. See, there's no one set way. You are a unique individual. And what Taoist meditation is about, and that's what next week's going to be about the oneness, about connecting to yourself. What you want to do, what's right and proper for you, do it. Do it. If everybody else is doing something else, if everybody else says, oh, I'm really tired, I want to go and lie down now, and you think, you're joking, I want to go and make a cake, I feel really inspirational, go and bake your cake. Do what is right for you. And send me a piece of your cake.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to your cake, David. Brilliant. Well, thank you, everyone. I'm sorry we couldn't answer everyone's questions tonight, but it was really wonderful to see all your feedback and to have all your questions. And we look forward to sharing this hour with you again next Sunday, same time, same place. I will be sending out an email very soon to invite you to next week's session if you can make it. But in the meantime, wishing you all an absolutely wonderful week ahead. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.